612,000 people die each year from smoking. And according to the National Foundation of Cancer Research, smoking is the leading cause of death in the United States, leading cause of preventable death in the United States. Tobacco advertising can be much contributed to these numbers. So today I'm going to talk to you about tobacco advertising, the problems with it, the effects that it has, and the possible solution. Like I said before, smoking is the #1 preventable death in the United States. Tobacco advertising definitely has contributed to the deaths from smoking and encourages it. For example, in movies or on TV shows, when you see your favorite actor smoking a cigarette or something like that, or even if you go to a gas station now, they have deals on top of the pump where you can get a 2-for-1 deal on a pack of cigarettes, or even in a magazine. An article by Stuart Elliott published in the New York Times talked about the November 15, 2007 issue of Rolling Stone, where they had a Camel cigarette campaign. Right there, this is it, saying that Camel cigarettes is promoting independent record labels, and some impressionable teenagers who see that, think that Camel cigarettes are cool now because they promote independent record labels and stuff like that. And it's actually illegal for tobacco industries to advertise to minors, and I think that we can all agree that minors do read Rolling Stones and stuff like that. And it's these kind of loopholes that the tobacco industries can find to still get their product out to minors and people under the age of 18. So it's a definite problem that these companies can find these loopholes. A study by Barbara Loken of the University of Minnesota said there is now incontrovertible evidence that marketing of tobacco and the depiction of smoking in movies promote youth smoking and can also cause people to begin smoking. At the end of the study, she concluded that the advertisements target the psychological needs of teenagers and adolescents, and creates the perception that smoking satisfies these needs like peer pressure, which we've all encountered in high school and junior high, and also like stress that we've all encountered probably in high school and also in college. But teenagers are watching movies and they see the student or the kid stressing out and they have a cigarette to calm themselves. Now I'd like to talk about some of the effects that the tobacco industry has created by these advertisements. A report on GlobalLink.net states that a study by the Journal of the American Medical Association addresses that 91% of 6th graders and 6-year-olds in 5 states could positively identify Joe the Camel with Camel cigarettes. This shows that the advertisements are getting to the children when they're not supposed to, and that these advertisements are sticking in their memory, and they're becoming much more familiar with smoking. And humans are creatures of habit, and they do what's familiar to them. So they're growing up being familiar to these companies. Plain and simple, cigarette advertising is helping or encouraging smoking, and is getting kids familiar with smoking. Now I'd like to talk about one of the possible solutions, and obviously the most obvious solution would be for the government to come in and take control and completely ban tobacco use or tobacco advertising. This graph here, shows countries that have a ban on tobacco and countries that don't have a ban on tobacco. And as you can see, countries that have a ban on tobacco, smoking has greatly decreased over the years, and smoking in countries that don't have a ban slightly decreased, such as America, where we have just restrictions on where you can smoke. Some people believe that a partial ban would work, but it won't work. The key conclusion is that these bans on advertising and promotion prove effective, but only if they are comprehensive, covering all media and all uses of brand names and logos by worldbank.org. And that means that basically you can't just eliminate or ban tobacco advertising on just one medium. You have to ban it altogether. Music, radio, newspapers, magazines, movies, and television. So as a conclusion, I'd like to show you a pie chart of people who, that study was done, who agreed with a complete ban on tobacco advertising. So 58% totally agree, 21% somewhat agree, 11% somewhat disagree, 9% totally disagree, and 1% don't know. But with this being the end of my speech, I hope that I've at least changed the perception of the class to believe so that the graph would come out like this. Thank you. Have a nice day.